that got me to start thinking like something is changing, something is dramatically changing. So as an example, the reason why I noticed it was because we got a client and he sells party supplies, right? Like a bunch of things like the cups and the plates and the, utensils and the balloons and the all of it as a pack. So he's got the category was changed from toys and games to home and kitchen. The subcategory, so that was the main category, but in the subcategory he was in party supplies. Both toys and games and home and kitchen had the same thing, party supply. So I think for home and kitchen was party set, something like that. And then for toys it was, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but the point was that we tried to change his category over and over again. We were unsuccessful over and over and over. And we're like, what is going on? This is so odd, because he definitely needs to be, or his product is definitely something that can be in the toys and games. At the end of the day, after escalating this case for a long time and to like a level 5 person, the rep told us from seller support, they were saying, it's because the system is reading your image, and in your image you are a party set, not a party plate, for example, if that was the other case. So it was a difference between what the image was like itself, what it was, versus what the subcategory that he wanted to be was. So that got me thinking of like, oh my God, they are reading the image and comprehending the image in a way that they can say what this is. And you know what, the reason why Amazon allow us to create our listings and put our own category is because they don't have information from your product prior. Like they don't have any context, any feedback, they don't have that. But right now, because they can analyze all of the things, all of your components, they can get a good sense of what your product is, and they can recategorize you. Another example, a seller that is selling greeting cards, like birthday cards, right? And in one of the cards, there was one picture of a red car, like a toy car, She was recategorized to toys and games instead of arts and craft, where she was supposed to be, or yeah, arts and craft. And it was because the system was reading the red car as a toy instead of as a card. So I've seen so many cases that this on this happening, especially for categorization issues. And then when I took it a step further and I said, I read another white paper in Amazon Science that talks about images. And in there, they explain the algorithm and how they analyze the images. That understanding on what your image is and what your image is saying, it's getting fed to Rufus, right, to that AI that is showing that information to customers. So that's another piece. In the Cosmo paper, they don't touch on images, but if you look, and I don't remember the name of this paper, on the image, it doesn't have a sexy name like Cosmo. Cosmo is like, oh my God, this is so cool. But the one in the images is like a long title. But they basically explain you how they analyze the images. So that's how I figured out that the system was changing. Now it's like, how are we gonna use it to play in our favor, right?
Yeah. I, you're talking about really, I mean, of course they connect, but it's being able to interpret images using AI was already in play, and now they have Rufus and Cosmo working together, and that means that images are also in play. So it's not you don't have just a single way to explain to the Amazon system what your product is about by way of keywords, primarily keywords, right? It's title, bullets, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're playing the keyword game, and as you put it at the beginning, but now it's not just keyword; it's your pictures and how you interact with their AI system through Cosmo to explain what your product is good for, what kind of experiences and things like that. So it's so what sounds like to me that they've got a way to train for sellers to train their AI to be able to provide an interactive experience for the shoppers through
Yeah.
Rufus. So that
Uh,
it's like the old days, you would go into, if you go way, 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 way back, you wouldn't have department stores. You would have your little corner store, and they would know you, you would know them, and then you would tell them what you need, and somebody would say, oh, I know exactly what you need. Let me go get it for you. And I know the
exactly.
color you like. I know and then also in the process, they would know who you are and say, oh, how about this for your husband, wife, whatever, and your kids. I mean, that's really what it's turning into.
Yeah, basically. Going back to the root, but with technology in the middle, I guess. Um, the other part is you understand the way we're gonna build the listings, right? We need to sell to AI. AI needs to really understand what our product is about. And with Amazon Comprehend, you can get answers on that. But on the other side, I think one of the bigger components that will take I don't know, the stage in this new era will be the interactions with your audience. So the type of questions that you get into your listings, the type of reviews that you get into a listing, the videos, the pictures that like customers upload on your listings about your product, that will be so critical. And they don't say, Amazon doesn't tell us how much weight each thing will have, and that's the part of the innovators to find out. We will find out eventually, but I believe that with the focus on building brands and with the focus of social and all of those things, those will take massive precedent into what gets fit to Rufus. And let's say that you're looking for the best, I don't know, camera for uh taking pictures in the wild, for example. I think that the answers that Rufus will give to a customer will be more about in those specific scenarios about best of or best of X category will be about the reviews and about what people say about your product rather than what you say on your listing. So this is where we need to start thinking of like what is our content strategy, what is like we need to start building that fan like raving fans. And I'm not saying like looking for reviews and ask like positive reviews, but there needs to be a strategy into how are we going to address those issues and how are we going to answer in case that that's not correct or somebody had a negative experience. I mean, I think that would be such a big pain for a lot of people because that's probably the hardest thing to control. And my answer to that question is, well, enhance traffic. and and all feeding part of your strategy in this new era will be driving traffic of audiences that are already warm and that already know you, that through social, through Google, so they can go into the listing and actually convert and have a positive experience. I think that's going to be huge. And adding to that, working with influencers to get reviews, to get added to specific. And that's something that I don't know if somebody as an Amazon influencer have you in their storefront. I don't know if you get points for that. I don't think so right now, but will you get points in the future because an audience like them is saying I like this product and I'm promoting it in my store, some things like that. So there's a lot to consider here. I think it's a huge topic. I've been talking a lot about it with my friends and all of like fellow Amazon nerds, trying to figure out because a lot of the questions at the moment don't have an answer.